Win big with new DRF All Access past performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all three past performance formats. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
Hi everybody, Mike Beer here. We got two stakes races for the New York bred sprinters on Sunday's Aqueduct card. That's Sunday, January 28th. We're going to kick it off with the fourth race, which is the Safe Florida Sandy. This one is for the older horses, 4-year-olds and up. We have a field of 6 here. They're going to go 7 furlongs in this race. The purse is $100,000. Let's take a look at this field of 6 horses entered for the Safe Florida Sandy. This field is led by the number 3 Rodney, who is 6-5 on David Aragona's morning line. Rodney, 2 starts recently here at this Aqueduct Winter Meet, and they were both versus open stakes horses sprinting. The Fall Highweight back at the end of November, where he finished 3rd, couldn't make the lead that day, finished 3rd. Then he came back in a really fast-paced Gravesend over a muddy track at the end of December. Ran really well that day, but had to settle for 2nd. Rodney is fast from the gate. He has won 6 races in a row versus his fellow New York breds, and he is just way the horse to beat in this running to the Safe Florida Sandy. And what makes him so tough in his races is his early speed. We'll take a look at the Time Forum U.S. pace projector for this race right now. And this is, you know, if you've seen Rodney race at all, this is his game. Now, Time Forum U.S. believes this pace is going to be fast. Rodney out there on a short lead at the pace call with the number 2 Andiamo a Firenze showing speed to his inside. Perhaps Disarmed, the 4, will be able to keep up with this pace as well. He has been showing speed in his recent starts, but the more you look at this race, even Aggregation, the 1, has been showing speed in his recent starts with blinkers on, but he's been going a mile. He's going to turn back a furlong here, and he's probably not fast enough to be part of this pace, but we'll see. There's a chance this pace gets heated. I do believe that Rodney's faster than these horses, however, assuming he gets out of the gate well in here. And I just expect him to go to the front in this race and be pretty hard for this field to run down, but we'll see how it all plays out. He is going to be a very short price in this race. If you're looking for wagering opportunities. Let's start off by looking at the number 1 Aggregation. As mentioned, his 3 most recent starts are probably the 3 best races of his career. Chad Brown put blinkers on this horse back at the beginning of October, and Aggregation came through with a front-running win, going a 1-turn mile against New York bred second-level allowance horses. He came right back in his next start, open entry-level allowance race, and ran an even better race, getting to the front that day. Never looked back, never gave that field a chance. He earns a triple-digit Beyer speed figure winning. And then he came back for his most recent start. Back in with New York breds for this one. It's the Alex M. Robb. It's a mile. It's a muddy, sealed race tack. Here's the replay of this race. And Aggregation runs another good one. He did make the lead in this start, but he was sort of forced to go a solid pace in here. He had pressure from his outside, but he went pretty well around the turn. You can see through the stretch here. He still got a clear lead all the way as they approach the 16th pole here. But you can see his stablemate there, Dr. Ardito, coming from last with a really strong finish and running down Aggregation at the end. At the end of the day, not only was the setup there for Dr. Ardito, but Dr. Ardito is just a better horse than Aggregation is, and he runs him down. This is a good performance for Aggregation. He's in really good form right now for Chad Brown. The addition of blinkers have really helped this horse. We'll see how he handles, cutting back to 7 furlongs. I don't think it's too short for him. I just wonder what kind of trip he pulls in this race, and if he's forced to, do a little bit of chasing against the good version of Rodney. He could be in trouble here, but he's a clear-cut second choice on the morning line. I think deservedly so. Andiamo a Firenze could be one of the speeds in here. He's the 2. He's 6-1 on the morning line. A horse with a really nice pedigree. He's a 3-quarter brother to a top sprinter here in New York a few years ago. Firenze Fire, Grade 1 winner, multiple graded stakes, and earned almost $3 million. This is a 3-quarter brother to that horse, and he started out his career like he was going to be really good too. He won 2 of his first 3 starts, including a stakes race. He was earning solid figures as a 2-year-old. He just never really improved last year at 3. They ran him in some tough races, yes, but he just never really took that step forward you wanted him to take. And it felt like maybe he just wasn't ever going to really develop. Maybe things turned around. The most recent start for this horse was on New Year's Eve here at Aqueduct, and he took a big step forward in an allowance race, an open allowance optional claiming race. Sent out of the gate with speed that day, made the early lead, was hanging around in the stretch. He stayed really gamely when they came from. He couldn't quite hold on, but he finished a good second that day, earned a career best 92 Beyer speed figure, and was claimed out of that race by a very underrated trainer. This is a really tough spot for him because his best game is speed, and of course he has Rodney drawn right to his outside, as well as another horse to his outside, who both will probably be forward in here. So we'll see if he can get the right trip. It was nice to see him finally take a step forward last time, though. We'll see if he can keep it going here in an even tougher race. Rodney's the 3 horse to beat, morning line favorite. Again, he's 8 for 16 lifetime. He's won 6 races in a row against New York bred competition. The most recent start against New York breds, 3 starts back, end of October in the Hudson on a wet track, and he just, won that race very easily on the lead with a triple-digit buyer. Here's his most recent race, though. We'll take a look at the replay. This is the Gravesend. This is an open stakes race, and this pace is really fast. Now, you see through the stretch here, Rodney is on the lead here, and he's just, you can see how tired he is here in the final furlong, though he went really fast on the lead. A really good and informed closer named Bold Journey is coming for him at the end, and Rodney's got no shot to stop him, but he's game to hold on for a second here. All in all, a really strong performance, if only because this pace was really fast. And I do think he's going to make the lead in this race, and I don't think he's going to have to go that fast in here. And it all just kind of, sort of combines to make him a really tough horse for this field to beat. I think if he makes the early lead here, they're going to have a tough time running him down. I can't say I've always been Rodney's biggest fan, but this is a great spot for him. Disarmed is the number 4. He's been showing speed in his most recent races as well. I don't know how that's going to work out for him here. If nothing else, if you want to make the case for him, he's a great price, 10-1 in the morning line for Rudy Rodriguez, and he is coming off of a career best performance. His most recent start, mid-December here, going 6.5 furlongs, and he did make the lead in an open allowance race, and he held on very gamely at the end to deny Ocean's Reserve, who's also back in this field. Ocean's Reserve in good form as well. I liked the last performance from Disarmed. I don't like him that much in this race. Ocean's Reserve is up next. He's the 5. He's 5-1 on the morning line. I think what you would like about Ocean's Reserve, first of all, he's been very consistent right from the start of his career. He always shows up, but he always runs a representative race, and he's in really good form right now heading into this race. As mentioned, he just couldn't quite get Disarmed 2 starts back when that horse made the lead, but he ran fine in there, making up ground to the end. He just couldn't quite get up, and then he came out of that race with this start, and this is back in mid-January here, just a couple of weeks ago, in that same entry-level allowance race. It's going this 7 furlong distance, and it's another ADA buyer for Ocean Reserve. He got a great trip in here. He sat right up on the pace on the outside. He came up to challenge it as this field came into the stretch, and he's just best in this race. He's going to gamely prevail at the end. I don't think it's the kind of victory that's going to make you feel like Ocean's Reserve is ready to break through with a really top race, but it's just another really strong performance. And I think what you like about him, he likes this distance. All 4 of his career wins have come at 7 furlongs, and he'll be sitting off the pace early in here. If this pace is fast, and I think this pace will probably be fast, maybe Ocean's Reserve could come and pick up some pieces. General Banker is the 6. 2 questions in front of General Banker here. I guess, first of all, he doesn't win that often. He's 2 for 18 in his life, but he's another horse who's very consistent. It's all about whether he can really up his game enough, because at the end of the day, this horse has run some good races, but his career top buyer is 83. And that's just not going to get it done in here. And I guess the other question surrounding General Banker is, can he rebound in this spot on short rest? We just saw him 10 days ago in an allowance optional claiming race, going this distance against New York breds, and he just didn't show up that day. It was a good field, don't get me wrong, but this horse did not run well that day. I actually felt like 2 back in the Rob. He was behind Aggregation, but he didn't run poorly in that race going the mile. He stayed on really gamely, just missed 3rd at the end of that race. So he ran okay there. It feels like this is tough for him, but he's going to probably sit back and make one run, and maybe it will all work out in this spot for General Banker, who is an underrated horse. That's it for this field. I mean, it's an interesting race, if only because there are a bunch of in-form horses in here. But again, there's a clear-cut favorite and clear horse to beat in the 3, Rodney, and we can get the picks up there right now, because that's where I'm going to go for the selection in here. I thought about trying to pick against him. I just think this is another great spot for him, and I do think he's going to make the lead. I think he's faster than the other speed horses. I'll take him on top. I'll put Ocean's Reserve second and see if he can just sit a little bit of a trip here and maybe get by Aggregation late to complete this exact 3-5 for me in the first of the 2 stakes races for New York breds on Sunday's Aqueduct card. This one is the Save Florida Sandy. It goes as race number 4. The approximate post time is 1:19 Eastern time. Good luck.